Hello friends, Tanya here with day 6 of these 2025 Spellbinders Crafty Advent Calendar. Let's open box number 6 to see what we have behind it. It's a nice long one, and this could be a stamp set. Oh, I think it's an embossing folder. The options are dies, stamps, sequins, or embossing folders. And this one looks like a fun um, repeating circle pattern. Very cool. It almost looks like fish scales or chainmail, or you could use this with beehives, lots of things. Or we're going to use it as bubbles. I'm going to bring in the Martini Mood Better Press and Die set. I am actually going to better press this image. I'm going to do it 4 times, and as you can see, it fits into one of the quads for the 5x7 version on this platform very nicely. So I'm going to be able to um, press it once, rotate the paper, press it a second time, shift the position of the plate, and do it the third and fourth times. Did I need 4? No, but it's so fun. I'm using watercolor cardstock here, or watercolor paper, and we have 4 martini ladies here. I was digging through my Daniel Smith watercolors because I really wanted to watercolor, and I happened to find this paint that looks like a nice cafe au lait colored skin tone, which can work for lots of different skin tones. So I'm adding that to our very cool looking lady in the martini glass, and I'm just being careful to only apply this on the parts of her that would be flesh tone. I thought this would be such a fun set to work with the bubble theme. I know there are no bubbles in martinis, but it just the whole vibe of this is fun and frivolous and maybe a little bit sassy. And that fits this entire image. I really fell in love with the martini mood. Actually, the happier hour um, sentiments, they are freaking hilarious. Love them. Some of them are super funny, some of them are just super punny, and I love that. I'm doing this deep raspberry red for the skirt. And I did a light application at first, and then I came back and flooded that with a more concentrated paint. I did do some blue ones too because I wasn't sure which color palette I was going to use. Next, I'm going to take the Spellbinders and Yasutomo mixing watercolors, and I have just the pearl one here, and I'm going to add some highlights to the glass. Now, I did paint 4 glasses, and I learned the hard way. What I wanted to do was add the color to the glass part and not go over the skirt until I'm completely done with the white part on each image. I got a little too much paint on that, and I'm using my microfiber cloth to pick up the extra. This did dry, excuse me, dry pretty fast on its own, and I had so much fun playing with the watercolors here. After I got all of the white part of the shimmer done, I would go over the skirt portion, noticing that I'm only painting below the water line there. There is a coordinating die for our our martini lady, and I'm going to cut all of these pieces out. Isn't that adorable? Oh, can't wait to put the rest of this card together. Next, we're going to take a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 inch Hammermill cardstock, and I'm going to ink blend with Tattered Rose and Worn Lipstick. And I know this on screen, this does not look like it matches very well, but I promise it does. I started with the Tattered Rose, and we'll get a little more than half of that paper blended, and then we'll move to the Worn Lipstick. Now, Distress Oxides have been out for forever, and most serious crafters I know have the Distress Oxides just because they perform a unique service in our craft rooms. They do blend so very well, and with 72 colors, it does go a long way. Next, we're going to pull out the sprinkled confetti better press plate, and we're going to foil on this plate with some opal foil. And I'm doing this the same way I always do. I create a hinge and then put our foil down. Now the tricky part with opal foil is you need to make sure that you put the right side down. Since it's translucent and it's difficult to tell which side is which, when I cut it out, I just keep it with the shiny side up. That's how I keep it. That way I know which side needs to go down. For the second foiling, now the dots actually do get smaller. Well, they go from either big to small or small to big, whichever way you want to think of it. So there is a little bit of a direction to this plate. So I just made sure that the small bubbles were all going to be on the same edge of the cardstock. So I've applied my second foiling, and it turned out so good. Now, opal foil can be a little tricky, and lately I've been actually going back and forth a couple times through the die cut machine to get a really good foiling if I'm at all hesitant. Now I'm taking what's left of that magenta red, that deep raspberry red color, and I'm mixing it with what's left of the pearl watercolor mixing color. And actually add a little more. I had created a slurry of this paint while I was making the watercoloring on the lady. And we're just going to mix that up so we have a shiny or a metallic watercolor. Oh yeah. Apparently I thought more is more, and I just took all of the liquefied watercolor out of that little pan, and I'm going to mix that in, and you can just see that shimmer in it. I have another piece of watercolor cardstock. This is 140-pound inexpensive watercolor cardstock, and I am just going to cover this entire panel with this watercolor that I've created in my little tray here. Now that tray is just a trinket tray. Somebody left it in the workroom at work with a free sign, this one and another one, and I took them thinking they would work great for a watercolor palette, and they do. Especially if you're doing just a couple colors, or if you want to make a large puddle of the same color. It works great, and it's ceramic, so you just wash all that off. This is the finished panel. I did heat set that, and you can see all of that beautiful shimmer in here. Now our embossing folder does a design that is about 1.5 inches wide. So I cut this strip to 1.5 inches, and since that's a 5x7 panel I used, I know that it's going to be long enough to cover the front of a portrait orientation card. So I ran that through my little Scout. That works perfectly, creates a very nice embossed impression. And then I decided I wanted to use the leftovers of the opal foil on a piece of the Spellbinders specialty glimmer paper. I pulled out the stitched edge circle backgrounds. This came out last year or the year before, and I think I've used it once, but I really love all those beautiful details. So we're going to take that reversed foil and cut the simple circle, and some pearl metallic cardstock from the antique assortment and cut the detailed circle. Then we're going to take the 5x7 Matting Basic Set B largest die and cut out our ink blended and foiled panel. I added some extra cardstock behind that, and then we're going to adhere that to a 5x7 white card base. This is going to really create a fun bubbly background for our little lady. Then I'm just kind of auditioning where I want this strip. And before I fully commit, I do want to trim it down so that it fits on the matted panel. I just used a pencil mark to mark where those edges needed to be, and I'll use my guillotine trimmer to trim those off. I did add some extra cardstock behind this strip, and we're going to finish with our placement here. I did add extra cardstock behind each of these layers, and I'm just giving that a good rub to get that glue to adhere. I'm using Barely Art glue in a precision no, that's called a fine line bottle from Spellbinders. I added a couple extra layers of extra cardstock behind the top of that circle so that it rests evenly on our design element here. So I add a little extra cardstock behind this strip, and it is nothing fancy, just taking scraps, trimming them down, and adding glue. And then I trim off any excess that I might have. We're going to add that to the lower third of the card. That's going to create a really nice landing spot for our lady in the bubble. I use my T-square ruler to make sure that this strip is nice and even on our card front. I thought I had it even. It turns out I did have it even, but sometimes eyeballing is not enough. And I actually needed to add another layer of cardstock behind that after I laid it down and realized it wasn't quite tall enough. I did cut an extra of the Martini Girl die out of a blank of cardstock, and we'll add that behind her. That just is going to give a little extra dimension, help her pop off the front of the card a little better. Once that's dry, we'll add that to the front of our card. Just going to add her in the middle of that circle. When I have her placed just right, I'll put my heavyweight block on top, and then we're going to take a couple of sentiments from that Better Press set. As you can see, I have foiled and cut a bunch of them. That foil plate does several sentiments at once, and then a die that cuts all of them at once. We're going to do Cheers to Sprinkles, Wrinkles, and Tinkles, and the sub-sentiment Still Hotter. No, Still You, Just Hotter. Very menopause themed. Then we're also going to use the Fountain Wishes sentiments with a sentiment that says, have the happiest day ever. I thought that would make a great birthday or just general card. I'm adding a couple extra layers of cardstock behind the sentiment that's going to go on the front of the card, and I thought it looked perfect on that embossed banner across the front of the card. Just going to center that on the banner, and then we're going to use some sequins from my stash. You can use whatever sequins you have. If you're anything like me, I have more embellishments than I could use in a lifetime. And just because they are not currently available doesn't mean that you can't use them. I was looking for a white iridescent or clear iridescent sequin in my stash because I wanted to add them to the inside of the card also. Now I have another panel I had another reverse foiled panel that I was able to cut another of those circles from. And we're going to add the second girl to the inside of the card. If you make two of your front focal image, then you can use it on the inside. And I love bringing that element into the card. Now, I didn't want all of the layers with the stitched matted circle, but this works. So we're going to have our little lady overlap that circle, and then we're going to add the other two sentiments to the inside, and the circle makes a really good landing spot for all of those sentiments. And since the lady's touching the circle and the sentiments are on the circle, it becomes one cohesive unit. Now we're going to add a few sequins to the inside of the card to finish off our look. I do love adding sequins to the inside of my card. They don't affect the ability to close the card, and they add such a fun detail. I love all of those dots all over this card. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun digging through my stuff and finding perfect accents to that embossing folder. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done that, and check that description box below for a link to all of the products that I used today. Leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you. And come back tomorrow for the next day of the Advent calendar. Until tomorrow, bye-bye.